Hello Year 5 and welcome to our Lesson 4 in our Geography. We are going to be continuing from where we left off about the Amazon rainforest. And we're going to do our knowing more and remembering more from our last lesson. We have 4 questions that we need to be able to answer. So number 1, the Amazon rainforest is located in the south of Brazil. Is that true or false? Number 2, which of the below is not a layer in the rainforest? Is it emergent layer, branches layer, understory, or forest layer? Question number 3, which layer contains the tallest trees, is light and airy? And lastly, question number 4, what does biodiversity mean? So I want you to pause the video now and have a go at your knowing more and remembering more and see how many of these you were able to recall. Excellent, well done if you were able to remember that the Amazon forest is not located in the south of Brazil. The Amazon forest is located in the central part of Brazil. Number 2 is the branches layer. The branches layer does not exist and is not a layer in the rainforest. And for question number 3, the layer which contains the tallest trees and is light and airy is the emergent layer. Biodiversity means having a variety of life and species in the environment or habitat. So let's think about our lesson objectives for our lesson today. Our lesson objective is to be able to know what deforestation is, to be able to understand the scale of deforestation in the Amazon, and to understand the different effects of deforestation. So remember in the lesson, if there's ever a point where you are confused or not sure about our key vocabulary or about the different layers of the rainforest or some of the natural resources and what we are going to be discussing, always ensure that you check your knowledge organizer. And at the bottom of the knowledge organizer, in the bottom right corner, there's a box that talks about deforestation. So deforestation is the cutting down of trees in the Amazon, and it has been happening on a large scale for many reasons, including agriculture, logging, urbanization, and mining. And we're going to find out a bit more about that in today's lesson. So the key vocabulary words that you already know will be rainforest, plants, climate change, flooding, and biodiversity. And the key words that you are going to meet in today's lesson are deforestation, cattle ranching, logging, mining, and urbanization. So thinking about our last lesson and just to do a review and a recall, the Amazon rainforest. So where is the rainforest in Brazil? What kind of rainforest is it? What is the climate? And can you name the 4 different layers? I want you to pause the video and think about those 4 questions on the slide. Can you recall and be able to revisit the information that we have learnt in our previous lessons? Excellent. Well done if you were able to get the information. So the rainforest in Brazil is in the northern part of the country, and it is a tropical rainforest. Remember, there are 2 different types of rainforest, tropical and temperate, but the Amazon rainforest is a tropical rainforest. What climate is the Amazon rainforest? It is hot, wet, and rains heavily and frequently. Name the 4 layers of the actual Amazon rainforest. So right at the top with the tallest, light and airy trees is the emergent layer, followed by the canopy layer. And underneath the canopy, you have the understory. And then it is followed by the forest floor or the forest shrub layer. So those are the 4 layers of the Amazon forest. Well done if you were able to identify all the different layers and answer all the questions. in regards to our previous learning. So if we were to look at the picture of the Amazon forest from space, this is what it looks like. Can you imagine such a vast amount of land? This is how big the Amazon rainforest is if we were to look at it from space. So from A to B, what is the difference? So unfortunately, you don't have a partner, but if you pause the video, what is the difference between picture A and picture B? Well, we are going to find out.
Brazilian officials have told the BBC that there's been an aggressive increase in deforestation since the election of President Bolsonaro in January. An area of Amazon rainforest roughly the size of a football pitch is now being cleared every minute. The rainforest, which plays a vital role in regulating the Earth's climate, covers an area 20 times the size of Britain. Nearly 2/3 of it is in Brazil. Crucially, it absorbs billions of tons of carbon dioxide every year and produces 20% of the oxygen in the atmosphere. In the first of a series of reports, our science editor David Shipman has been to see how decades of conservation efforts are being reversed.
The rich greens are the most vibrant habitat on Earth. The billions of trees store so much carbon, they help to slow down global warming. They're also home to an amazing tenth of all species in the natural world, some unnerving, others adorable. But the sight of bare earth and dead trunks is becoming more common, with huge tracts of forest wiped out. My footsteps and distant birdsong are the only sounds. It's tragic to see this close up. To bring these trees down to the ground, they just knock them over with a bulldozer. This is happening all over the Amazon to create new farmland. And the result is that the great forest has never been under such pressure. Over the decades, field by field, many trees have made way for agriculture. But that's set to speed up because of a massive push for development. The new president of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, was elected on a promise to exploit the Amazon. He's delighted his supporters by saying too much of the forest is protected. His environment officials are deeply worried, but he's banned them from saying anything in public. You're trying to save the forest. So we have to meet this official in secret. His face hidden and voice changed, he says the government is trying to cover up the loss of the forest.
Eles não querem que a gente fale porque nós vamos falar a verdade. Nós vamos falar que as unidades de conservação estão sendo invadidas e estão sendo destruídas. Há muitas pessoas fazendo marcações de lotes de propriedades rurais dentro de áreas que deveriam estar sendo protegidas. E os números de desmatamento aumentam, mas poderiam ser ainda maiores.
And the scale of the deforestation he describes is staggering. Up here, at the top of this 15-meter high observation tower, the view is just phenomenal. Out over what looks like a great ocean of green. This is the canopy of the largest rainforest in the world. The problem is that more and more of it is being chopped down. It's hard to believe, but an area the size of a football pitch is being cleared every single minute. What that means is that forest that could cover more than 2,000 pitches is just vanishing every day. And all the signs are that this rate of devastation will accelerate. Cattle are the biggest single reason the trees are cleared. They're grazing on land that used to be forest. Brazilian beef is in big demand all over the world. And the president's vision of expanding agriculture here has delighted the farmers, like Vanderlei Wegner, who says other countries cut their forest down long ago.
Nós temos que desenvolver a Amazônia, né? Porque, vamos supor, aqui na região do Baixo Amazonas, na região de Santarém, vive mais de 4 milhões de pessoas. Então, se precisa ter um desenvolvimento também, é um direito constitucional.
Farming on an industrial scale has already reached the Amazon, but the government wants to see more of it. and to weaken the laws protecting the forest. We asked to interview 2 ministers about this, but they both refused. The line often heard here is that only Brazil can decide what to do with the forest, no one else. But the fact is, the more trees are cut down, the more we lose one of the few things holding back the rise in global temperatures. So what happens here in the coming years matters far beyond Brazil. David Schuckman, BBC News, in the Amazon.
So excellent. We were able to look and find out about the deforestation and the impacts that it is having. So when we looked at the 2 pictures, A and B, we could see that in picture A, there was a full forest full of trees and full of vegetation and natural habitat, whereas B was an image of what had looked like after deforestation. So deforestation is when trees are lost and not replanted. Trees are either chopped down or burnt in a fire. Now this creates land which can be used for farming, known as agriculture, or settlements where people can live. And here below we can see 3 different images of where the forest or trees have been cut down and not replanted. So when we say replanted, we are referring to planting new seeds for new trees to grow. So how are trees removed? So trees can be chopped down with chainsaws. Sometimes they chop them down with heavy machinery, and this is called large-scale removal, or sometimes the forests and the trees are purposefully burnt down, and this is the easiest and cheapest option. But this unfortunately leads to uncontrollable and causes carbon dioxide and pollution. And sometimes the fires become unmanageable and they are not able to always control them. So it's a very risky thing to burn down the forest. So causes of deforestation. So thinking about deforestation, when we are talking about the words that we might be unfamiliar with, such as logging and agriculture, even urbanization and mining. So here is a picture of some of the reasons why deforestation happens. So we can see 65 to 70% of the time it's because of cattle ranching. 2 to 3% of the time is logging. 5 to 10% is due to large-scale agriculture, 1 to 2% are for other reasons, and 20 to 25% is for small-scale agriculture. So here are some of those definitions explained more clearly. So logging. Logging is when trees are cut down for their wood. This wood is used to make furniture. Then we have large-scale agriculture. Large commercial farms make food for sale, such as cattle ranches. Then we have subsistence agriculture. Subsistence agriculture is slightly different from large-scale agriculture because it relates to small farms making food only to feed a group of people. So a subsistence agriculture is usually for the community, where large-scale agriculture, like cattle ranches, are to go to commercial sites to make food for sale in supermarkets and in other places. Subsistence agriculture is where a small community relies on the farm to feed the village. Then you have mining. Mining is a process when you dig into the earth for minerals or other rocks. These can include copper, which are predominantly used to make items such as phones, type of metal, or gold. Also, another reason for deforestation is urbanization. Urbanization is when you are making space for human settlement. So you are building towns in the rainforest. So what are the effects of deforestation? Let's watch this video to find out. So we're going to stop the video there. We can see in this video that the orangutan has unfortunately lost its home due to deforestation. Because the trees are being cut down, natural habitats are being lost, which means that levels of biodiversity are decreasing. So there is a serious loss of biodiversity when deforestation happens. Now, this includes loss of habitats that leads to possible animal extinction or plant extinction. It has been estimated that we are losing 137 plant, animal, and insect species every day due to rainforest deforestation. That means that plants are being died out, animals are becoming extinct, and therefore those species will eventually become extinct because they do not have a home environment to live in. There is also soil erosion. This happens when the removal of the vegetation leads to increased soil erosion. Some areas are deforested for farming and the soil is washed away by soil erosion and the farmers move on to a new part of the forest. Also, climate change. Burning of the forest to remove them has led to increased carbon emissions, so carbon dioxide, CO2 emissions, and an increase in the rate of climate change. Also, there is a huge loss of trees, and we all know that trees create oxygen, and with less trees, that means there is less oxygen in the atmosphere. So your task today. So how is deforestation affecting the Amazon rainforest? So here you have a picture and you have some questions and also a quiz to follow about how deforestation affects the biodiversity of the Amazon. So I want you to think about some of these questions. What is deforestation? How is it performed? We've got some words such as trees, cut down, and fire to help you, and some starter sentences. For example, this picture shows deforestation. Deforestation is when people use or to cut down trees. So why is it happening in the Amazon forest? What is agricultural practices are happening on the new land? And what industrial practices are happening on the new land? And how is deforestation affecting the Amazon? So you can sit down and write and answer these questions based on the PowerPoint. And remember, think about all the things we have learned in this lesson and use your knowledge organizer where you can find some more useful information if you're unsure. So for our review, you're going to head over to Purple Mash and do a quiz now. I'm going to be answering these questions. Define deforestation. What is urbanization? Name 2 effects of deforestation. So that is what you're going to be doing for your Purple Mash. Hope you've enjoyed the lesson and we'll see you next time.